Sometimes a person reaches a point where there is no strength left to speak and no energy left to do anything. Du'as grow silent. Plans fall apart. What you call hope slips from your hands like smoke. And right at that moment, a voice inside you says, "Let go. Leave everything to Allah." But how? It's not easy, is it? When your heart is in turmoil, when your mind is filled with thousands of questions, how do you let go? This is exactly where the words of Ibn Arabi reach your heart and touch it. He says, Tawfid is higher than tawakkul, because the one who relies still expects something, but the one who practices Tawfid simply surrenders. Now, pay close attention. There are moments in life when there is nothing left that you can do, and that moment is actually Allah teaching you how to leave yourself to Him. You suffer a loss. A door closes. Someone leaves. You think this is the end. But Ibn Arabi says, in every loss, Allah draws you one step closer to Himself. In this video, we will talk about the true meaning of Tawfid, leaving everything to Allah, according to Ibn Arabi. But this is not a dry explanation. There is a secret here that when you listen until the end will completely change the way you look at the hardships in your life. Because at the end of this video, I will take you to such a place with one sentence of Ibn Arabi that you will finally understand this. Letting go is not losing. It is falling into the hands of Allah. Ibn Arabi says, when a person practices tawakkul, he still searches for a share for himself in his heart. But the one who practices Tawfid leaves his share and his claim entirely to Allah. Now look carefully. What we usually understand by tawakkul is this: I do what I can, and then I leave the rest to Allah. But Ibn Arabi would gently smile at this, because he would say, you are still saying, I did what I could. You still think there is power within yourself. Tawfid is a different station. It is not just leaving the matter to Allah. It is leaving yourself to Allah. It is no longer leaning on your own strength, but relying only on His power, because nothing a person does with his own hands has an outcome by itself. There is only the will of Allah. And when a person realizes this, his heart feels as if it has been freed from its chains. Imagine this. You are on a ship. A storm breaks out. The wind is fierce. The waves throw you from side to side. You are holding the wheel, saying, I am in control. But the ship is already in the hands of Allah. So, letting go of the wheel is not sinking. It is salvation itself. As Ibn Arabi says, Tawfid is beyond being content with Allah's decree, because contentment is the silence of the heart. But Tawfid is the heart speaking with Allah. Many people rely on Allah, yet deep inside they are still afraid. What if it doesn't happen? What if destiny is against me? But the one who reaches the station of Tawfid no longer speaks this way, because he knows Allah can never be against him. He only saves you from your own self. And this is why, according to Ibn Arabi, the one who practices Tawfid even feels different while making dua. The way he makes dua is not, "Oh Allah, give me this." It becomes, "Oh Allah, make me content with what you will." And right at that moment, a deep surrender is born in the heart. That surrender frees you from every kind of fear, because once you reach that state, nothing that leaves you truly breaks you anymore. You have already let go of yourself. Ibn Arabi says, if you think you have left things to Allah without leaving yourself, you are still behind a veil. Now think, how many times in your daily life have you said, "I'll handle it"? How many times have you made a plan and thought everything was in your hands? And then that plan scattered like a leaf carried by the wind, didn't it? In that moment, Allah was actually telling you something. Let go, because it is not you. It is me who brings it to pass. According to Ibn Arabi, Tawfid is a person's greatest surrender, but at the same time, it is his greatest freedom, because the more a person tries to control, the more he becomes chained. But when he lets go, his chest suddenly feels open, his inside feels light, and everything begins to unfold exactly as it is meant to. For example, you love someone deeply, but you fear that love, thinking, "What if I lose them?" This is where Tawfid speaks and says, you cannot hold on to what was never yours, because in truth, nothing was ever yours. And in that moment, the tension inside you, that tightness in your chest, begins to loosen. It is as if a knot in your heart is untied, and all you can say is, whatever happens, it comes from Him. Sometimes life places you on a road you never expected, an illness, a loss, a test, and that is when most people say, why me? But the person of Tawhid remembers the words of Ibn Arabi. In everything Allah does, there is a sign meant to show you, meaning that event is not there to punish you. It is there to save you from yourself. Tawfid brings a person to such a point that even fear begins to lose its meaning, because the source of fear is not being able to control. But you have already left control, so why would you fear? In the words of Ibn Arabi, the heart of the one who practices Tawfid is peaceful, even in the middle of a storm, because Allah is the one steering his ship. A person who lives this state is different even in dua. He does not say, "Oh Allah, give me this." He says, "Oh Allah, make me content with what you want." And that dua is the only dua made without expecting anything in return, because he knows the answer has already been given. It will only be revealed when its time comes. And this is where the secret of Tawfid is hidden. You ask for nothing, yet everything comes to you, because you have chosen not to possess, but to be. And this state is one of the closest states to Allah. Ibn Arabi says, the one who surrenders is not left alone, because surrender means being with Allah. Sometimes a person is shaken when he loses things in life, a job, a friend, even a feeling, and immediately a voice rises inside. What am I going to do now? But the people of Tawfid take a deep breath in that moment and say, not me. He knows. That moment is when real change begins. Because instead of resisting with your heart, you learn to trust with your heart. From the outside, it may look as if nothing has changed. But inside, a miracle has taken place. The world is no longer a burden on your back. You are now a guest within the world. Ibn Arabi reminds us that we should not confuse Tawfid with patience. Patience can sometimes mean waiting inwardly, hoping that one day things will get better. But Tawfid is something entirely different. It is the state of being able to say, without worrying about the outcome, whatever my Rabb does is right. And this state gives a person such peace that even what befalls him turns into mercy. Think of it through an example. A farmer plants seeds in the soil, but he does not bring the rain. No matter how hard he works, the sprouting of the seed is not in his hands. Yet he still plants, because he knows that the one who placed the seed into the earth is the true owner of it. This is Tawfid. You do what is required of you, but you leave the outcome to Allah. And at that moment, Allah turns your effort into blessing. According to Ibn Arabi, a person who practices Tawfid carries Aman on his face, a kind of invisible tranquility. When you look at such a person, it is as if you are looking at the sea. Waves come and go, but it remains calm. Because even if there is a storm in his heart, he knows that the one who sends the storm is also the one who calms it. The person of Tawhid no longer judges others, because he knows that everyone is living through their own test. When he sees someone in error, he does not rush to judge. He says, perhaps Allah is testing me through this person. And at that moment, a door opens in his heart. Through that door, mercy enters. In the words of Ibn Arabi, the one who surrenders does not only surrender to Allah, but also to His decree, because destiny is Allah's hidden mercy. Such surrender does not only give a person peace, it makes him the strongest person in life, because nothing can shake him anymore. People's words, the changes of the world, the harshness of time, none of it, because he no longer lives in a state of tawakkul alone, but in the secret of Tawfid. Ibn Arabi says, Tawfid is returning the servant's will back to the will of Allah. So, in truth, when you let something go, you are not losing it. You are simply returning it to its true owner. And at that moment, the heart becomes light. Think about it. You keep trying to carry something that was never yours, trying to control it, to direct it, to fix it. But that burden was never meant for you. The one who practices Tawfid realizes this and says, my duty is not to carry, it is to witness. That is when a deep calm is born in the heart. According to Ibn Arabi, this calm is not merely silence, it is a kind of divine balance, a state where the heart is no longer shaken by the noise outside. Bad news may come, a loss may happen, a change may appear. All of it comes, yet the heart remains where it is, because it knows that everything is in the hands of Allah. And here lies a very subtle secret. Tawfid is not only a state of patience, it is a state of witnessing. When you are patient, you are waiting. But when you are witnessing, you are seeing. You begin to see Allah's way of acting, the elegance of destiny, the wisdom hidden behind events. And this way of seeing fills the heart not with knowledge, but with marifa, because marifa is not knowing, it is feeling. Ibn Arabi says, knowledge belongs to the mind, marifa belongs to the heart. It is not the one who knows Allah who draws close, but the one who feels Him. And the person of Tawfid begins to feel Allah. When the wind blows, when a leaf falls, when a door closes, he says, there is a sign in this as well. For such a person, the world is no longer confusing, because every event becomes a letter. A failure is actually a warning. A delay is actually protection. A loss may even be a gift. And the one who reads with the heart understands all of this as a language. According to Ibn Arabi, a person who lives this state even makes dua differently. Before he would say, "O Allah, give this to me." Now he says, "O Allah, what you will is what is best for me." Instead of asking, he surrenders, and at that point, dua is no longer a transaction. It becomes a meeting. The face of the one in the state of Tawfid changes. In his eyes, there is peace instead of panic. In his voice, there is surrender instead of complaint. Because he no longer says, "Why me?" He says, "Ya Rabbi, what are you teaching me through this?" Then life becomes a lesson, the heart becomes a book, and Allah becomes visible in every line of that book. Remember these words of Ibn Arabi: the one who leaves his heart to Allah finds Allah within his heart. This is the essence of Tawfid. When you leave things to Allah, you are actually inviting Him inside. And when He enters, fear, anxiety, jealousy, and ambition slowly withdraw and fade away. Because when only He remains in the heart, nothing else can stay. Ibn Arabi says, the one who surrenders is saved. The one who practices Tawfid finds. A great secret is hidden in this sentence. To surrender is to accept destiny, but Tawfid is to return your destiny back to Allah. The first is acceptance. The second is trust. Imagine this. A child holds his father's hand and walks along a dark road. He does not know where he is going, yet he is not afraid, because he knows the hand he is holding will take him to the right place. According to Ibn Arabi, this is exactly what the state of Tawfid is. It is trusting the will of Allah, believing even when you cannot see, loving even when you do not understand. When the heart reaches this point, even du'as begin to change. Before you would say, "Oh Allah, give me this." Now you say, "Oh Allah, make easy whatever is best for me," because you know that nothing that comes from Him is ever a loss. Within everything there is wisdom, and behind every delay there is preparation. Ibn Arabi says, "If something comes late to you, it is not that thing. You are not ready yet." This sentence is the heart of Tawfid. Trust instead of impatience. Surrender instead of fear. Gratitude instead of complaint. At this point, the heart leans on Allah, and then the weight of life does not decrease. You become stronger. True Tawfid is not leaving things to Allah. It is walking with Allah. He speaks to you, sometimes through silence, sometimes through loss, sometimes through a smile, and you learn how to hear Him, because the one who practices Tawfid no longer looks for Allah outside. He feels that Allah speaks from within him, and at that moment a miracle is born in the heart. Peace, quiet yet unshakable peace. Even storms no longer frighten you, because you know even the wind moves by His command. At this point, a person understands that anxiety is actually the desire to control. And when you let go of control, peace finds you on its own. Ibn Arabi describes this as the peak of divine surrender. He says, "When the servant leaves himself to Allah, Allah does not leave the servant." Meaning, when you trust, Allah does not abandon you. Paths open for you, doors become visible that you did not even know existed. And even in the darkest moment of your life, a light is lit within you. This is why Tawfid is not passivity. It is a state of awareness. It is not sitting still and doing nothing. It is doing everything you must do while leaving the outcome to Allah. This is surrender in motion, because the one who trusts Allah walks without fear, and that walk is one of the most beautiful forms of servanthood. Finally, Ibn Arabi says, the one who leaves everything to Allah ends up remaining with Allah. This is the essence of all wisdom, the secret of all Tawfid. When you leave your heart to Allah, nothing else can claim you anymore. Not the world, not people, not worries, because your owner is already known. And now, my friend, if these words touched your heart, know that this was only the beginning. In the next video, we will speak about the deep secret that Ibn Arabi reveals about dua and destiny. Do not forget to click on that video here on Ibn Arabi's legacy, because this journey does not end here.